I'm going to show you how I edited this photo to take it from this to this after the intro.
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of Hollywood.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Mo and welcome to another exciting tutorial. Now I hope you're staying home safe and sound watching this video. Now if you want to learn more about car photography in Photoshop, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on my weekly tutorials. Alright, so let's just have a look at the original photo. Let's have a look at the before and let me explain how it was shot. Now I have a ladder, like a 3-step ladder that I can fit into my car, and I've used this to actually get at that height to be able to shoot. Now the problem with this is I can't have a tripod in my level, so I had to actually just raise my hand and try and get the shot. All right, let's have a look quickly at what I've done here. So this is the before and this is the after, and if you look at the right, then you can see that I've increased and pumped up the exposure, lifted the shadows, increased the whites, and dropped the blacks just to get it ready for Photoshop. Now let's go to Photoshop and see what I've done there. Now looking at this, I really didn't like the ground, so I went to Shutterstock and I looked for a replacement, a backdrop, if you may say, and I think I've looked up the term road high level or road high something, I can't recall right now, and I found this, and that looks great. Now there are a few key issues that I want to solve for this photo backdrop. Now one of it is it looks flat because it's just like looks bright. There aren't enough lighting that can pull the eyes, beside of course these tire tracks. Now I have fixed that and I'm going to show you how I did it in a bit. But the other thing is I need to match its perspective. Now if you look at it, you might think actually it looks okay, but it's a little bit off. And we can fix this using the distort function or feature in Photoshop. And we needed to get into this. So let me actually enable this and show you what I've done. There you go. So the process is quite simple. Control T to get the transform tool and then go to the perspective. And I try to get it to match. And I know that it will leave certain parts of the photo exposed, but we can always resize this to fit the frame. So let's have a look at this. All right, so let's resize this and there you go. Have a look. I mean, we can do it further a bit. We can stretch this up to here. Oops. It's actually the perspective, Mo. The perspective. Yeah, there you go. Press Enter, Control T again. Have the option and stretch that further. So let's have a look at this. That's all right. So now that I've fixed the perspective, there are other issues that I wanted to actually tackle, and it looks too bright, too dull. But I added a curve just to bring down the midtones just a little, and of course my camera raw filter. And if we look here, I added texture, clarity, and I added a graduated filter, dropped the blacks, the exposure, just to give that dramatic look at this backdrop. All right, so moving forward, like I said, I traced around the car with a pen tool, extracted that car from that original background, and I placed it here. And now it looks like it's floating. So I added 3 types of shadows, and I spoke about this before. So I have the touching shadow, which is this, but let me remove the car. So this is the touching shadow where the wheel sits. And then I have the ambient shadow. And then I have the Big Daddy shadow. And now if I place the car, it fits well. Now, one thing I didn't like about the car, it had a lot of color cast. So you can see there's a bit of green, yellow, and blue in the windscreen and on the car, and it's just not fitting the background, which is very, I would say, desaturated. And so I added a hue and saturation and actually applied it to the entire photo. So there was also a bit of blues at the back, and I removed that using the hue and saturation before, and this is the after. And then I looked for the Supra logo and found this. Actually, it looks like a car. Let me zoom in. Looks like a car over there, and I added it, and of course I fixed its perspective. So let's have a look. There you go, just fixing perspectives. I then wanted to add a fog layer just a little bit in the back and just add that more dramatic light in the back and make the object away a bit brighter and the object closer a bit darker, just to give this nice contrast. And it's just, as you can see, let me just enable this is at 10%, and this is at 100%. Obviously, it's a soft brush, brushed it over there, and brought this one down. Now, you've seen this in many of my other tutorials. I added this number plate just to remove that number and added the Supra logo. Now, to add a bit of realism, you can see that there are track lines going here, but there isn't a reflection of this. So I copied this part of the photo and placed it there. I think I had this at overlay, and I controlled this layer using the blend F. Now, blend F is a really cool function or option in Photoshop that allows you to replace things, add things. And I have a tutorial in which I show how to, change the skies using blend F. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Make sure to check it out. All right, there's one more thing that I did. Let me head to the camera raw filter of the car itself. I just added a little bit of clarity, and I tweaked the colors of the reds in the car. I just wanted it to look better, pop a little bit more. And I just played around with the values. Now remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my newsletter and you'll be receiving a raw file of this shot. So you can practice along, do whatever you want to do with it. Non-commercially, of course. All right, there's one more thing that I need to show you, and that's my new logo. There you go. And I added it just there. I know some of you might think that it's a big distraction, but hey, it's a creative choice, and I wanted it just right there. All right, YouTube, we've reached the end of this walkthrough or tutorial. Now, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also subscribe to the newsletter, and I'll see you in the next video.